Going live. We're skipping the intro. I forgot to put it up. Got a little distracted. But hey, how's it going? It's David, Scar Thumb Podcast. Today, we'll be talking about a lot of different things. Halo, Echoes of Wisdom. We'll still be talking about Echoes of Wisdom. We got the new Metaphor ReFantazio game, Alarmo. Pokemon got hacked. Yeah, a lot of stuff, man. A lot of fun stuff. Making fun of Tomb Raider. That sounds, that'll be fun. Hey, good morning, Jack. Good to see you. Well, let's start off. We're going to talk about Echoes of Wisdom and why I think it's more Disney than Disney. So Echoes of Wisdom was a delight just from start to finish. I've actually beaten the game. Just awesome game. Really enjoyed it. Again, like I said, I want to say it's a delight because that's what it is. It's not, exceptionally hard. A lot like a lot of Nintendo games. It decent challenge, some fun stories, but you're just solving puzzles. You're not like really heavy into like sweaty combat. I thought the last boss did provide a bit of a challenge, especially since I didn't have all of the items. You almost just make it a little too easy if you get all the damage reduction items they can possibly get. But I still had a decent amount of hearts. So you can even like challenge yourself if you really wanted to by getting less things or wearing different items. That'd be a way to do it. But like I said, it's just just a really well made, well crafted, not super challenging, but still challenging enough to be engaging game with a really nice story. That's where the thought occurred to me of what I was playing. Like this reminds me more of Disney than Disney games here. I guess maybe I should play this video underneath. I grew up with movies like Aladdin, A Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid. These are like classic stories that have been passed down through the generations. They involved men and women. There's a masculine and a feminine energy. And they eventually sort of find harmony together, and the evil is destroyed. So it's sometimes either before or after. Echoes Wisdom doesn't have that romantic aspect to it, really, which is a little disappointing, but it's still really good. It still, has a strong feminine energy with Zelda. You have, a masculine energy. Link is treated as a hero. She's, Zelda herself is a real princess. If you look, I don't know if I have it here. I wanted to show, let's see. Was it here or here? Where they have, she gets the cloak. This is where she gets the cloak. But, she's treated like a princess. She's loved by all the people of Hyrule. They do a really good job of establishing this, that all the people love her. She's kind of like a symbol for Hyrule. And when you look at some places like, like Frozen, like Elsa, it was like one of the only like white blonde-haired princesses that have been around in recent years, and also insanely popular. I don't think that's a coincidence, or isn't a coincidence. I think it's very much so the fact that people want white princesses still, despite the fact that they won't give it to them. But that aside, Elsa's, she needs to escape, the expectations of her people. They're holding her back. She wants to be emotional. She wants to let it go of all the stuff that's holding her down. And then eventually she comes back and she does become the sort of queen of her kingdom. But in a lot of ways, it's making it her own. And this, it's very different. It's Zelda is maintaining her kingdom. She's protecting tradition. She's doing her duty. She's accepting her duty as a princess, and protecting her kingdom, and that's why she goes out on her adventure to save the people that care about her, that love her, because she is their princess. She's actually accepting her role. And then you have like modern Disney, you have like Moana, where she has to defy her father's wishes, and she supposedly restores their true origin as wayfaring people. But it involves breaking the sort of traditions of the men that came before her. And so there's very much some of that defying tradition in that too. But it wasn't always that way. I mean, you look at these classic things where it's like Disney. And then you got classic Beauty and the Beast here. It's about a woman. It's very much heavy on romance. Where she likes the Beast in a way. Now it's a classic. Jordan Peterson called this the feminine hero's journey, is the sort of beautiful woman domesticating in a way the beast, taking a wild beast and then giving him a place in society, which I think actually is probably a pretty accurate kind of tale, where she takes the edge off, someone that has just raw strength and power, and just takes the edge off and helps and makes him a productive member of society. As cucked as that seems nowadays, considering how society is so anti-male. And then of course you got Aladdin, which is he's dead, but guy Diamond in the Rough. This actually focuses more on Aladdin, an actual man who becomes a prince. The Diamond in the Rough here. He's dead too, Iago. Sad. But you have that again, princess and the street urchin. That's all classic stuff. But I mean, now you have days. You have here's a fat unmarried cat lady as the star of Encanto. Which, I mean, these modern tales are still well done as far as they got nice music, good animation. But overall, I don't think they inspire the same way that the classic tales did, because, I mean, ultimately...
I gave you the special since you're the only Madrigal kid with no gift. I call it the not special since, you have no gift.
You have no gift.
Thanks?
Yeah, thanks. Wow, what a beautiful woman. The fattest, fat princess, fat Mexican Disney princess. That's exactly what we needed. Exactly. And then, again, her whole thing is oh man, grandparents. Well, I mean, it's kind of an interesting idea. Is your grandparents ruin the lives of younger people with their ridiculous expectations, which is a common theme in America today, maybe overall around the world. So that's something. But the fact that she's just special because she is a lot of the. It's not that she has any particular talent or a gift. She just listens, I guess, and she has no romantic aspirations. There's no masculine energy in this at all to play off of, because it's not about men. It's all about her. It's all about women. And then this, for Disney, or for, I say, Echoes of Wisdom, it's very different. You still have that masculine energy. Link is still considered a hero. You have, stuff like this where her father is still a caretaker. He still is, sort of a strong leader. And then you have, scenes like this where the dark rifts are trying to overtake them, and he throws her out of the way. That he's captured by it. Zelda has to save him. She has to save her father. Very very dramatic thing. But, the people that make these Disney movies, overall, hey, good morning, X-Runner. The real Bob Newman, good to see you. Well, when you look at modern Disney, people making these movies hate society. You know, it's racist, it's misogynist, it's exploitive. Give me a second, let me take a drink. Clear my throat. Jesus. All right. The people making Disney movies hate society. You know, it's racist, misogynist, exploitive. They bought into a bunch of communist garbage so that anything that glorifies traditional society, it can't be shown. It's about defying them. You know, classic tales don't have any place. They're really just tools of oppression. You know, falling in love with a guy is just, you know, it's exploitive. Why is it Belle opening up a library, owning her own business, you know, spending 60 hours a week working to on her financial freedom? That would be way better than falling in love with a prince, right? Gaston, oh no. Look at that guy. What an evil man. So, you know, this is how you get Lightyear. And Lightyear is just absolute. What an absolute. Oh, I can't play it good. That's an absolute mess. This is one of the few films that have been made recently by like Disney Animation that stars a male lead. I mean, if you're not including stuff that's already been made, like, oh, it's the fourth Toy Story with you know, Woody Allen and or not Woody Allen, what's it name? Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. As Woody and Buzz. So Lightyear, again, it has a male lead, but what's the villain of the story? It's male ego. Only by accepting the help of you know, this young black woman who was born from a lesbian couple and these like two other, you know, this effeminate man and an old lady. That's his team that's gonna help him. He would be evil if he didn't find those people and, you know, get rid of that sort of male toxic masculinity. So this is an actual quote from the director of Lightyear. So having him find himself felt like the most thematically interesting. Oh, interesting, really. Because there's a toxic masculinity aspect of being unwilling to ask for help. Yeah, it's toxic masculinity. That's the real villain of Lightyear here. Well, you know, with starring Buzz Lightyear, who's supposed to be a hero, but, you know, toxic masculinity. The real enemy of the male hero is himself, the evil masculinity inside him, and to be focused on only solving problems by yourself. That we felt that he had to become a villain in the beginning, and had he not met Izzy and the others in the second act, this is who he would become. So if he didn't meet a black woman, if he didn't listen to the plight of people of color, old women, men of color that are effeminate and gay, this is who the white man the white man would have become evil, is the underlying theme. He probably would have voted Republican if he didn't meet those black people and listen to them and accepted their help in destroying his society. So this is the thing. It's the hatred of society in white men that runs underneath all of this newer art. And this is why it doesn't inspire the way these classic tales do, because they don't have that underlying garbage beneath it. It's about, you know, it's just a classic story about good conquering evil, about, you know, Aladdin, his bravery. You know, he might not be born, he wasn't born rich, but he has, you know, qualities, heroic qualities that, you know, he doesn't need to meet black women to unlock. He just has them underneath it, and in the face of adversity, he still fights with bravery and cunning. He has that smartness to him. You know, Beauty and the Beast. You know, it's about, you know, a person that seems very harsh on the outside. You know, he's been scorned. He was scorned and, you know, cursed because of his greed and arrogance by a witch, and then he sort of like learns to soften up and learns, you know, some empathy, and he's able to become, you know, a whole person through the love of a beautiful woman. through, that kindness, a woman that shows him kindness, and in spite of him, in spite of his flaws. Those are things that that inspire generations, not the fact that you have toxic masculinity underneath, and you need old grandma, the badass old lady, will help you become a better person. Yeah, it's a really good tale. But thankfully, Japanese creatives aren't poisoned with the hatred for peoples and traditions. They could still put out a charming tale that sort of glorifies men and women. They could still, they still have men and women in roles that they're traditionally meant for. They could have made it so like Link is just, he's just captured, but they wanted to respect, what the history and tradition of Link is. He's supposed to be the hero. She's the priestess, and together is how they defeat evil. Not as, Zelda doing it all on her own. And so they have, you have this bright, colorful world, and it does, make you, playing a game like this makes me nostalgic for those old days when things were bright and colorful, when they were, sort of hopeful tales that weren't infected with by these creatives that have like sort of this sort of communist feminist poison running underneath them. And it's sadly, I think Western studios are going to continue doing it because some of them can still make money. Inside Out did very well. Buzz Lightyear flopped like crazy, but they're still making money with these things. A lot of these animated stuff still does pretty well, even in spite of the fact that their messages overall are very weak and not really inspiring. But at least in the meantime, I have these Japanese games. There's still things like Echoes of Wisdom with, the beautiful, beautiful animation, beautiful artwork, and music and all this stuff. I love the little pose. All their little poses are very cute. They made sure, I think animation, honestly, graphics are overrated nowadays. It's really animation that makes something, that makes a game special nowadays. Polygon count isn't going to save you. It's been done to death. The graphics are super great, but that might be a good segue as we wrap this up. Echoes, just fantastic game. It's a shame that we don't get anything like this in the West, but I don't think we will, really. And maybe in like some small niches, something might slip through, but maybe you see where, the Joker, a big memes this week, that Joker getting raped in prison. That's what happens when you have I'm just always Joker getting raped in prison here. So the hit sequel to the popular incel movie is we got to rape the main character. That way guys won't like him anymore.